That was great. Come on in. Okay. I'm talking to the web. I'm not talking to myself.
You finally go live.
That's
And then,
the first
Yeah.
recorded thing I have on here is me talking to you, telling them I'm not talking to myself. Yeah. My staff thinks I'm talking to myself.
I'll be back.
So bye.
well, that's
So-
what a Bluetooth like little thing in your ear. You can talk to yourself and no one will ever question it.
That's right. Welcome to our next edition of Youth Leading Conversations. And today we're talking about missions. And we're talking about what are the ways that we can do apart from our summer mission trips, apart from UM Army Big House Summit, jump, all those things that many of us are involved in, or even trips that our groups do. What are the things that we can do monthly or weekly to help our youth experience mission opportunities? So I think everybody here has been introduced over the past couple of weeks. Derek is our newest joinee. Just kind of say hi and how was your week and what's going on? Derek, you can go first.
Well, hi. How is you? I'm good. The weather here is crazy. They're supposed to get rain yesterday, and it didn't rain until yesterday night. And it's going good. I think I might get out and about a little later, find some food somewhere, and stuff. But other than that, everything's good.
So Huntsville is an exciting place.
Yes, and especially since my office is kind of downtown, I hear everything. People honking at each other, sirens. I got it all, man. It's good.
They share a parking lot with the police.
Yes, we do, indeed. But that's on the backside of the church. But yeah, I definitely hear when they take off, though.
Awesome. And then Chad is back with us again.
Howdy. No, everything's going well here. Yeah. Yeah, just good things. We've been having some good time. Our small groups are going really well, and just we have some upcoming events, both with our district, our South District, and then also just by ourselves. And so, yeah, we have lots of good things coming up. So, fun.
Okay, so hi, I'm Russell. I'll just cut our introductions from the previous couple weeks and just paste them on there. First question, what is your favorite mission trip? And this can be a summer or a week or even something you've done locally, but that you've been on. So don't think just ones that you've directed or your students have done, but what's your favorite experience or mission experience that you personally have been part of? Anybody can start.
It's a good question.
It's all you. It can be one that you actually planned, but it doesn't have to be.
No, not at all. That's it's a tough question. I look at the wall here in the office and all the things that you've been a part of with me there, Russell, and so many others from junior high mission, senior high mission. It's a really hard question to narrow down just one favorite one. I guess I go back to my first UM Army in Galveston, 2001. When I got introduced to it, a Moody Memorial, and short.
He's still talking,
and,
It's breaking up.
and it was just fun.
Derek, we pretty much lost. I got Moody Memorial and First UM Army.
Yeah, Moody Memorial, First UM Army, 2001, Galveston. That'd probably be my favorite one.
Okay. Chad, what about you?
No, I've been on, of course, UM Army, whenever I was in high school, definitely had a big impact on me, especially the second one I went on. But I've had to think of something in particular, like, it was very small. We did with our youth choir here at Cedar Bayou Grace, we kind of did a music and mission tour. Basically, one of our main things is we did a VBS for a small church on Hitchcock, and But one thing that really struck out to me, and this is just for me personally, was we went and the choir sang at a nursing home nearby, and so that was just good by itself. But then it was kind of like they went through all their songs, and it seemed like we still had some more time to fill. And so then I just kind of did some impromptu, like I juggle, and so I did some juggling routines, and something about that just in the reaction I got from some of the people who lived there, like they were just really just in a trance, just watching me and just really enjoying it, and just and so I've been wanting to get back into doing more stuff like that, and just to share that with others, and but just something about that just sticks out to me. It's just something so what I thought was just minor and wasting time, but it seemed like it really cheered up some people's day. So it was a lot of fun.
I went many years ago and did a trip to Bolivia, and that's kind of like the big trip, the only really big overseas trip or not overseas, but over continent trip I've done. But I did a trip to Bolivia, and I was kind of frustrated when we went because we weren't doing any work. Like we showed up, and the first day we went and we hung out at the restaurant in town and talked to people. And then the next day we all loaded up in a van or in a truck, Jeeps, and we drove out to a farm where they were showing where they were growing food and stuff, but we didn't work. And then we went to these people's house and we ate dinner with them. And for me, it was one of the best mission trips, not because we didn't work, but because I understood and was first introduced to the idea that missions doesn't mean building wheelchair ramps, or missions doesn't mean building houses. And so that was probably one of my favorite, after I got back, was one of my favorite trips, looking back on, because one was a great experience. It was a different, new experience that I've never been that far out of the country before or since. But it was also kind of looking at, we were there to build relationships because there were teams that were coming after us that would be building buildings and stuff. And so our job, come to find out, was to build relationships and to show them that this group could be trusted, we could be trusted when new ones came in, when new groups came in to work. So that was probably one of my favorite deals. What makes, when you think about all the mission trips you've ever been on, so Derek, I mean, we've done a billion UM-Armies and stuff, and so whether it's UM-Army or whether it's Big House or Summit or Jump or CCD Work Camp or your own group going off to Sager Brown or to many other places, what makes a mission trip memorable, or what makes it where you look back and go, that was great? What are those elements?
It's just when a youth gets it, when a youth when it clicks. You know, you have youth that go and they know about mission, they know about their relationship and how Christ and mission needs to be one and the same for the most part. But when you have those youth that are kind of on the edge of the waters, and you go on that mission, and then either through worship or through the work or through visiting with a client, they get it, and it clicks, and you can see it click, and it's just awesome. And you know, not only that, but also the stories. Out of everything that went wrong on the mission, make a T-shirt out of it and celebrate that, or everything that went right, and you make a picture for everything that went right. You know, it's just a story. So yeah, I'd say for those times it clicks with those youth and the stories.
I think those stories, those are shared experiences.
Yes.
And so you can look back and you can see, hey, remember when we did that? Remember when? I mean, I have kids who talk about, I wasn't even there, but they went on a mission trip, and the thing I hear about is not the fact that they packed 1,000 boxes for Sager Brown for cleaning kits or whatever like that, but they remember that the van broke down and they had to walk to the restaurant and they left somebody they ended up leaving somebody somewhere, and I share these stories and I'm like, well, what's that? But I was like, that's a shared common experience that they have. Whether it is, like you said, something that went great and we rebuilt a house for somebody, or something that went wrong. No matter what, those are all shared experiences that they have with those kids, with those other students that they'll never have again and never
Right.
have with anybody else. So Chad, what are the things for you that make those trips, make a mission trip worthwhile, make it memorable?
I think it's definitely like kind of what you touched on, and it definitely is. It is about like the relationships. Now, I sometimes wish that when we do go to UM Army and other kind of these trips, when we go off somewhere, you do kind of establish a relationship with the people you're helping, but that's not going to be, I don't know, I think rarely do you ever keep in contact with them for a super long time after that. But what else is enhanced is your relationship with each other as a church. You know, I know it's something you're going out there, as you're helping and reaching out to other people, and you're doing that with maybe your friends from your church, you kind of get a little bit closer to each other, and you have, just like you said, you have that shared experience. And whether it is the actual work you're doing, or it's the conversations you've had, or even then sometimes the fun, you know, of course, anytime a bus or something breaks down, I mean, that it's just an experience that you have, and then it all goes back to, well, where did the bus break down? Oh, it was on that mission trip where we did this, and it just all kind of ties together. So I think that's just always something where anytime I get with friends, we still share old stories from like many years ago, and but we're still telling them, and it just all stems from doing mission work.
And for me too, it's also Methodist Church is very connectional, and so that is a thing that is good because you go to a big trip like that and you're with other groups, and so you want to go back with that group. It's always fun when they try to recreate. Let's go back with the same group we went last year, and then we'll have the same experience. It never is, and sometimes it's different. But we have friends now that we know from going on trips together that we do other things with together. I mean, I know Derek mainly from we did mission trips and stuff, and so now we have a different connection from doing that. And for some of our college UM Army friends, we have weddings that have happened because of mission trips. But it's just that chance that you get to go and be so connectional. I think is a big part of the thing we do with these weekly trips. Shared experiences. What was interesting is none of us really mentioned the building stuff, and that's what you kind of bill as what you're going to do. We're going to go, when I put it in my youth newsletter, we're going to go into this community and build wheelchair ramps and repair porches for people in need. And that is for me, that's such a small part of it. It's important to do, but I think that any way we can help adults understand or church members understand, one, that if we said we're going to go and sit on people's front porch and talk to them for a week, that is just as important a lot of times. One of my favorite stories is a group that was at UM Army, college UM Army, and they went out and, as is with normal stuff, I'm sure Derek was their color group leader, and he was at Whataburger, and but they didn't have their stuff, and for a day, everybody was run pretty thin and spread out, and so they didn't get their color group stuff out. There were supplies for a day. But they went to the lady's house, and she used to be one who just loved keeping everything in its place, everything clean, everything pristine in her house. And that was something she took pride in. And over the past several years, she had not been able to do that. And so they ran to the store and bought some cleaning supplies and stuff. And the first day, they said, "We know you need a wheelchair ramp, but that supplies aren't coming right now." And they went in, and they talked with her, and they took all the china out of her cabinets and cleaned all that. They did all of her fans and vents and everything, and they basically cleaned her house. And something that anybody can do. You need no special training to clean stuff. But the conversations they had with her and the time they spent inside in the air conditioning, but the time they spent inside with her was priceless for her, and was well worth more than building something at that point. And they ended up building the stuff, but. So what are some ways, Chad, what are some things that we can do as in our own church we meet together every week. What are some ways that we can have these same things, these shared experiences, being connectional, and using our gifts? I like what you said about juggling, and you juggled, and that's something that's random, but it was something that is not a normal thing. When I think I'm going on a mission trip or I'm doing something, we think hammer and nail, but juggling is not one of those things we think of. But what are some of the ways that in our groups that we can use those things and have mission experiences on a weekly or monthly basis?
So I mean, I think it just is just important to try to keep something going consistently. I'm not going to say I'm the best at it, but I'm a big believer in it. That if you did just utilize each other's gifts. So if it is singing, I mean, just going. I think that's a pretty obvious one. I think lots of probably groups have done that, where if you have a youth choir or a band, just go to different places and use that gift of music, because everybody likes music. And we've done it before, where like around Christmas time, you just go around and carol at people's houses, or some of our church members who are shut-ins, and then sometimes strangers. We'll just go up to their houses and just do old-fashioned caroling. And sometimes they seem annoyed at first, but after a while they start smiling and they start appreciating it. And so it's just little things you could do. And something else I always try telling students, and this is something we've done several times, is using your gifts. It doesn't have to be something like music or even like juggling or something, but it could be. A lot of our students have been gifted with have been blessed with the gift of being able to write, and so we'll write prayer cards to people. I mean, just ideas of just writing to the military, people in the military, writing to people on your church's prayer list, or writing to other things, and just you just get in a room and everyone just does that. Or you may be drawing. I know we've done this before, is creating Valentines, and you be as creative as you want. So everyone's working on a craft together, and at the same time you're praying for those people and you're sending that out to them. So it's just little things like that I think you could do pretty easily, just consistently. And so yeah, I think those are good ones.
Mm-hmm. Derek, what are some ways that you have in the past, or you want to in the future, utilize missions on a weekly or monthly basis with your group?
We really tried here. He hit upon it, our shut-ins and all those in the retirement home. And 2 weeks from now, we're making Christmas cards for the same people and for the military. Christmas cards you got the military. I've had a church before participate in the Super Bowl of Carrying Can food drive, and we'll probably do that here this year for local mission. And I know the church has a group of men that go out and do mission and stuff like that, but they end up doing missions during the week. That I've tried to explain before that doesn't work well with the youth schedule, and so we're really trying to line up a time on a weekend that they can do a wheelchair ramp or a house build or something like that would work better with the youth schedule. And also, I don't know in everybody's situation what homeless needs there are. I know in some communities the homeless needs are more than others, and some communities actually have a homeless outreach mission, and just gathering supplies and coats and blankets for when it does get cold here in Texas. They could actually use. It's normally around Easter that it decides to snow and get cold, but that's another type of local mission that depends on the community you're in, you can get involved in. So.
This year, one of the things that I think they did, the South District did, and that I was looking at, what we did here was, we did the mud games, not mud wrestling. We did the mud games. We did, tug of war and yuck games and all those type of things going on. But everybody brought money, and so all the money went to either Clean Water or Living Water International or something like that. And so you can even do missions, I think, sometimes in events that help raise money. and so you can do a dodgeball tournament that probably wouldn't attract. You may not attract some kids, or you can do a dodgeball tournament that may bring some different kids in, but you say, hey, you can have fun, and this all for this purpose too. And so we are actually raising money and for that. And so that's something that we did along with our. We do a canned food scavenger hunt, and we will get from our pantry. I'll have them tell me what they need most of, and I'll make those items be worth more points. So if it's cereal, then we really do a big cereal push. We also have done and these are all things like at the church, but we also have done a cereal night for food, and so have everybody bring a couple boxes of cereal, and if you have 30 or 40 kids, or even 10 or 15, whatever, you end up with 30 or so boxes of cereal, and you eat maybe 4 or 5 of those, and so you have a big chunk that you can donate. And so we make sure and don't open too many of them and stuff, and so we then donate the ones that didn't get opened, and so we'll usually raise maybe 50 or 60 boxes of cereal for a night for that. And then one of the things that a church that I was involved with when I was in youth did is they had a connection with a local apartment complex, and they would go monthly or weekly. I think they kind of varied it eventually, but they would go like monthly. First Sunday of the month, they would go and basically do VBS crafts, maybe a couple Bible stories, play games, some sort of snack. Really kind of low key, really more building relationships. But there was a lot of people in the complex that didn't get out a whole lot, didn't have a lot for their kids to do, and so we would come in and kind of bring in activities to them. And so if there is a neighborhood or an apartment complex that you can team up with, that's sometimes fun to do and kind of gives a different outlook for your students on that. We actually have a church that's near us, a Methodist church that's in a neighborhood. We're looking at doing the same thing. And once a month, taking a soccer ball and a volleyball maybe and go and hang out and just kind of be with those kids and give our students a chance to show what the ministry of presence is. Just being there, letting those kids know that they're loved, just like our students need to know that from us. And so those were several ways we can do that. So what else do y'all do for your big, apart from UM Army Summit, Big House, those things, what other mission opportunities and stuff do y'all know of or are involved in? Like maybe summer stuff.
Confrontation Point up in Kentucky. Used to be in Tennessee, but other people heard of ASP, Appalachian Service Project, or Red Bird Missions. They're all kind of very similar, but my vote is Confrontation Point. When we leave Texas, don't do UM Army or UMCOR or whatever. I normally hit up those guys, and as far as international mission, because I try to do rotation out of the U.S. for missions with the senior high, and it really depends from year to year. Not only crazy enough as it is political climate, but depending on where we go out of the U.S. for that mission and stuff. But yeah, as far as out of Texas, we hit up to the Smoky Mountains for a Confrontation Point mission. So good guys, good curriculum. Only had one bad experience out of 4 or 5 trips up there and stuff. So yeah.
Cool. Chad, what else do you know of, or if you heard of or done that is not our normal Methodist Texas mission trips?
I know we've helped out some with food banks. Like we've helped out several times with a local one. It's at a Baptist church here, and so we've helped them out by kind of what you said was kind of like a scavenger hunt. We make it a competition. I feel like that's just a fun way to motivate people, and because then they bring a lot more than they probably would if you just So it's a lot of fun. They like to compete in that, but then we do make sure to let them know that it's not just for the game or competition, but we are helping feed people in our community. We've helped out at Houston Food Bank several times, and then whenever I was up there, when I was in Fairfield, we helped out at East Texas Food Bank, and some of those things, it's just a lot of fun. Like, you just get into an assembly line and you just get going, so you're just able to help that out. And that's what I almost call, like, I don't know, I think I've heard it called before, like ninja missions, because you're never really seen. No one knows what you did, but in a way, that's something to credit to, that that's something to get the teachers students at. But
Ninja mission?
At the same time, you have to, I don't know, we do need to find more opportunities to meet people and interact with them. Just like you said about meeting at an apartment complex or something, I mean, establishing those relationships, and that could be just one of the greatest things you can do. So just kind of finding a mix of them. But I just know we've just helped out with some food banks and all that, and I feel like that's been good.
One of the favorite trips we did was to CFAT in Lineville, Alabama, and it's a third world missionary kind of training and summer camp kind of deal, and just some great experiences. It was another one of those, we actually didn't do missions. We never built anything. At first we didn't do anything. And so we spent the week, but it was experiential, and we were learning what it's like in other countries, and some technology. So we learned appropriate technology for making gardens out of potato sacks and how you can do that. And apparently you put rocks in the middle, and so the everything grows in toward where the rocks are, and that's where you pour the water in. So you can actually water the whole column of tomatoes and potatoes, whatever else is in there, with that. And so little things like that, drying leaves that are protein-rich plants and adding that powder to food. And then we went through the second to last day, we did our mission project where we went out into the community, and we went to to a trailer house project and played. And we went out there and we played, and we had a water fight, and we made crafts and kind of did the same thing. And I asked the kids, I said, on coming back, I said, did you ever think having a water fight was going to be missions? And they said, not before, but now I see it. Now they see that it's loving those around you no matter who they are, whether they are more fortunate or less fortunate, that doesn't matter. We always think of missions as a top-down thing, but it's loving whoever's around you, and that may be the person, the lady in your church who has lots of money but has nobody who visits her, and it may be the person who has nothing that you can go and give food to. We do a community cafe, and so as our church, and so we help out with that, and so Monday nights people come and you can get food and groceries, and we help out with that. And then also, like I said, some of those other things I mentioned before. Adrienne, before she left, wanted just to point out, and this is probably more for you guys down there or anybody up here who took a trip, so Derek could probably participate with some of this, but is LaPorte Boys and Girls Harbor, Galveston Urban Missions, and Written on Your Heart are some of her favorites as extra things. So.
One time in college, like when I was in college, we helped out a couple of times at just our local Boys and Girls Club, and it's just another opportunity where you just show up there and we just volunteer and we just interacted and played games with the students there, and so I would say in those they have like Boys and Girls Clubs or YMCA's and certain after-school programs that are probably in lots of cities and all that. So don't ever overlook those as opportunities to just go and just interact with people. We've helped out before at it's like a women's shelter, and they had a day school, like kind of a daycare there. And so some of our youth, we came in there, and I think for that trip we had more female students, and it was just me and one other guy, and the teachers there said how great it was that just me and the other guy were there, because some of those students, some of the children there, they've never had any sort of a male influence on them, and that was just for a one-day kind of a thing, and I'm just trying to think how great would that be if we just kept going. Now, it was out of town, but just find something more local and just continue being a part of that, just so they can see that there are some maybe positive male figures in their life and everything. So just how much of a blessing that can be.
Yeah. I was watching Derek for a minute.
I know, yeah, he's fun.
Sorry, I had
That's
to,
okay.
had to take a phone call.
Not a problem at all. Well, I'm gonna close out, and like I said, I tried to edit an hour video the other day that we got to talking, the one on prayer and stuff like that. We had about 10 people and everybody answered, and it was kind of hard to edit down. So it's hard to listen to too when I want these to be like a 15-minute, section of stuff, or even shorter with that. So thank you.
Wait, what do y'all two have planned this summer? What are y'all doing?
Oh, it'll be good. This summer, we're actually going to go I'm getting information on the Student Leadership Conference in Granger, Indiana, and doing that in a trip. We're kind of taking a break from. We're doing UM Army for Christmas, and that frees up our summer a little bit. And so we're going to do the student leadership thing this summer. And for me, that is kind of expanding that idea to. I want to pour into my students so that then hopefully when we come back, they have, here's 15 ideas we could do next summer for missions type stuff, and getting them constantly thinking of that. So we're doing, our junior high are doing summit at the end of July, and then we're probably going to do some local mission stuff during the summer, and then take that trip. Chad, what could y'all do this summer?
We're gonna, some of the traditional things, and one thing we like to do. Of course, we'll do UM Army and we'll do Big House. This is something a lot of our students just really enjoy, and but I know last summer is something I would hope that we'll do again is to we found a Houston organization called Kids Meals, and it's just helping feed children who depend on free lunches in school and everything, and that's like around Houston. And so, again, that's one of those, get an assembly line, and you just make a whole bunch of sack lunches. Just a ton of them, and it's just a lot of fun doing that. So just try and do that more often, as well as finding ways to do that more locally as well. And so that's something we'll definitely try to do.
What do you got coming up, Derek?
We'll be doing UM Army and Jump this summer, and there's a possibility of some of our senior high joining in the church adult mission to Costa Rica, but that's not the youth as a whole. That'll only be like maybe 4 or 5. It depends on how many spots they allow us to take, because it's an adult mission, but still I'd ask if they could reserve a couple spots for the youth. UM Army, Jump, everything. So that's what we're doing this summer. And my second summer here, actually my third summer here. Yeah, but last summer was my first one that I got to say of kind of what we do for mission. So next year, the senior high already know we'll be doing an out-of-state mission, not UM Army, and stuff. So, anyways, yep, that's about it.
That's what I want to. I don't want to get tied into we do this and this and this and this every year, because then you don't have the opportunity to do other situations. You don't get to try other things.
Hey guys, I gotta go.
Huh?
I gotta go.
All right. Well, I will see y'all next week if you come, or not next week. We're off for 2 weeks. If you're watching this, we're off for 2 weeks. Have a great week and have a good Thanksgiving.
All right.